Today we're going to be discussing a citation that the Illinois Department of Public Health recently issued to Hillside Rehab and Care Center in Yorkville after a resident there suffered a brain bleed due to the failure of the nursing staff to see that lab work that had been ordered for the resident was in fact performed. My name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer in Skokie, practicing nursing home abuse and neglect work throughout the state of Illinois. I'm also the author of Built to Fail, a free report available for download from my website, which spells out how the nursing home business model inevitably produces unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. Many nursing home residents are on blood thinner or anticoagulant medications. Coumadin is a real common example of a type of blood thinner that residents receive. Many times these blood thinners are prescribed to residents to address the risk of them developing blood clots. In order to make sure that the resident is receiving the proper amount of blood thinner medication, a type of lab test called a PT/INR test is done. That measures whether or not the resident's blood clotting factors are within the recommended levels or the therapeutic range. If the levels are too low, the resident is considered to be sub-therapeutic and they're at risk for developing blood clots. Too high, that's called supratherapeutic, and the residents are at risk for experiencing internal bleeding. The PT/INR test measures whether or not the resident is within that recommended or therapeutic range. In this particular case, the resident had a history of deep venous thrombosis, or DVTs, which is a type of blood clot, and for that the resident was placed on a blood thinner medication. The resident's doctor ordered the PT/INR test to be performed, and in the ordinary course of things, a lab technician would come out to the nursing home, draw the blood, and the lab would do the work to determine what the levels were. In this particular case, the technician didn't show up to draw the labs. The resident's doctor was not informed that the lab had not been drawn as ordered. The following day, the resident was brought to the hospital after experiencing some ill effects. One of the things that was done at the hospital was that they drew the PT/INR test, which showed that the resident's blood clotting factor was supratherapeutic, it was too thin, and a CT scan showed that he was experiencing a brain bleed. Now, in this particular case, the resident's doctor told the surveyor from the Department of Public Health that had he been alerted to the fact that the resident had that kind of level, he would have taken steps to hold the Coumadin or the blood thinner medication and to in fact reverse some of the effects of the Coumadin that had already been taken to help bring the resident back into that therapeutic or normal range. However, because the test wasn't done as ordered, the resident continued to receive the Coumadin, and as a result, ended up with these supratherapeutic levels that brought on the brain bleed. Now, you may be thinking that the nursing home doesn't have any particular responsibility. After all, this is the fault of the lab for the technician not showing up. What the nurses at the nursing home told the surveyor when the surveyor came out, or the inspector from the Department of Public Health came out, was that over the past couple of months there had been repeated instances where the technician had been called and there were no-shows and that blood work that had been ordered wasn't being drawn. This is an indication of a systemic problem in that nursing home. Generally, the arrangements between labs and the nursing home are made at the corporate level, and the staff at the nursing home doesn't have any ability or any discretion to work with other vendors. In this case, because there had been these repeated episodes where there had been a failure to show and to deliver services that were needed on the part of the lab, this really does fall back on the management and the administration of the nursing home to make sure that there are vendors available who can in fact deliver the services that the residents of the nursing home require. In this particular case, there were these systemic problems as a result of these problems not being addressed. This resident ended up experiencing a brain bleed. I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions regarding this or any other nursing home abuse and neglect issue, please feel free to reach out to us. Our number is 312-263-1080, where we can be reached on the internet at www.accidentlawillinois.com. Thanks for watching.